You can be breaking 80 consistently within 6 months if you will follow and practice Ben Hogan's 5 lessons. And it all starts with the grip, which is what we're getting into today. So today we're gonna go over the 4 key points that help you get your grip exactly how Ben Hogan did it. First up, we're gonna take our lead hand, the back of it facing directly towards the target. We're gonna angle it down just like this here. And then we're gonna make a little crook with our index finger. So the grip of your club is resting right in that crook. And then the back of the grip is going to be resting right against your palm. So you can see the back of the crook is in that palm. So I should just be able to hold the club just like that. That tells me we're in the right position. Once I have that resting right there in that position, and we're going to close our lead hand over the club. So the grip's against the heel of our palm. The crook of our index finger is kind of cradling the grip there. So when we're in this position, we should feel most of the pressure of the club in those 3 fingers right there. The pinky, the ring finger, and the middle finger. Those should be feeling most of the pressure of what we're holding. Now, Hogan said you want your hand to feel alive and ready. You know, you got the pressure in those 3 fingers, but you're ready for some springy action, ready to really move that thing around, get it doing what it needs to do. All right, and just like that, we're a fourth of the way there. Let's move on to key point number 2. So for key point number 2, so we brought our hand over the club, and if you look, when we did that, our index finger and our thumb make a V. Now this V that we just made with our index finger and our thumb should be pointing somewhere around your right eye, right ear, somewhere in that vicinity. So we want to follow that line right around that right eye. That means we're good. That's in a good position. So we've got that wrapped around. We've got our V pointing towards our right eye and our right ear. So we don't want our thumb right on top of the shaft there. What we want to do is bring it over across just a little bit. So our thumb's not right on top of the shaft. It's brought across just a little bit. And that V we've got, it's pointing to our right eye, right ear, right around that direction. That's it for the lead hand. Pretty straightforward, pretty typical. That's about what your lead hand's typically doing in a traditional golf grip as well. So not that far off from what we would expect. So that's key point number 2, and we are done with the lead hand. Now we're gonna jump into the trail hand, which is where things get a little bit different, a little bit weirder. Ben Hogan did have some very unique ideas on how we should be placing our trail hand in the golf grip. Key point number 3 coming up. Let's get into it. So with our trail hand, what Ben Hogan taught is what I like to call the Spiderman grip. Okay, so he has the grip of the club kind of running through here. You're not all the way down here in your fingertips. You're not up in here your palm either. You're right here, just where the fingers start to join with the hand. That's where it lays across. But you don't have a pressure point on your pinky. Ben Hogan taught an overlap grip. So your pinky is going to be sitting on top of those fingers right there. See how that's just resting between the index and the middle finger? And then your ring finger and your middle finger, that's where the pressure points are on your trail hand. And this is where the Spider-Man things come from, because you're going to wrap those around. Again, your right palm is pointing directly towards your target. So we're coming in just like this. Right palm is pointing towards the target. So your ring and your middle finger, those are your pressure points. Those are what's holding on to the club. And then see how my right hand, like, it's basically Spider-Man. Pew, 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 pew. Just rested right in there. Pinky's resting on that. My index finger and my thumb aren't really doing a lot with this trail hand, okay? While the lead hand's goal is to create control over the golf club, putting the club, the shaft, and the face in the positions that we want them to be, our trail hand's job is power. Now, this is especially true with Ben Hogan's grip, which we're going to get into in just a minute. So the trail hand is just a push. It's just to help us generate some extra speed as we come down through the ball, while our lead hand is controlling the shaft position, the face, all of that fun stuff. So once we've got our Spider-Man hand in position, you're going to feel your trail hand just cradle the thumb of that lead hand right in there. So once you got Spider-Man locked in on that trail hand and you're in place, everything's good to go. Now it's time for key point number 4, which is the trail hand V. And the V that we're making with our trail hand, now this is interesting. Traditionally, when you grip the club, most people teach that your V's should be parallel. So see, my trail hand V and my lead hand V are both pointing to my right shoulder there. Well, with Ben Hogan's grip, he taught it differently. So what he did, you got your Spider-Man grip, you got your hand on top of the club. Now that V with my trail hand, so my lead hand V is still pointing to the right, still going out to my right eye, right ear. With my trail hand, the V that I'm making is pointing right at my chin, right at the middle of my face. And once we've got that into position, we've got the grip down just like Hogan had it. That's key point number 4. Now we're in position, we've got the club grip just like Ben Hogan gripped the club, and now we're ready to take some swings. But before we do that, there's something we got to take a look at. Let's recap one more time on the 4 key points of our golf grip, and then we're going to go over that bonus tip. Number 1, we got our left hand, we're cradling in the index finger, We got the grip bumped up against the palm of the hand. We're gonna have most of the pressure sitting in those 3 fingers there. When we look down the line here, the V is gonna be pointing to our right eye, our right ear, in that vicinity. And our thumb is not gonna be directly on top of the shaft. It's just gonna be just over maybe the 1 o'clock position, something like that. Now our lead hand's in position. Get our trail hand going. We're gonna go Spider-Man. So we get these 2 fingers right on the grip. We're gonna take our pinky either overlapping or interlocking, whatever you're comfortable with. And then our index finger and our thumb are gonna be pretty inactive. We're just gonna kind of sit them on top of the club, let them rest. Now, once that's in position, you'll look here, the V that hand makes is pointing at our chin, pointing at our nose, and the knuckles just sitting nice and easy on top of the shaft there. So that's our golf grip, according to Ben Hogan. Now, let's get to that bonus tip. Ben Hogan, as we all know, had a tendency to hook the ball to the left. So he built this grip to battle his tendency to hook the ball. What that means, this is a weak grip. A weak grip means you're more likely to leave your club face open when you get to impact. Now, if we're leaving our club face open when we get to impact, well, our club face determines our start direction. So if we're open at impact, our ball is going to start right. And an open face also makes it more likely that your path will be out to in, because your path is measured relative to your face angle. So even if we have a straight path with that open face angle, that's actually an out to in path, which means it's going to start right and it's going to curve right, both of which are bad news. So in order to combat that, we need to make sure, even with our weak grip that we've gone over today, the weak grip that Ben Hogan had, we need to make sure that we are closing the club face. Now, the way that Ben Hogan closed the club face was by swinging very hard. But as we talked about earlier, this is what I'm getting at. The trail arm, your right hand, that's what you're using to generate power. So Ben Hogan used his trail arm and his right arm to generate as much power as possible, just swinging out of his butt with that trail hand, with that trail arm. That's why he had a tendency to hook the ball. When you try to swing hard with your trail arm, what that's going to do is close the club face faster, which normally can cause problems. That's going to cause those hooks. That's going to cause the ball to go left. But because he adjusted his grip to suit that, so he starts with the face open, then he attacks aggressively, which aggressively closes the club face, all of a sudden he's hitting it straight and he's getting a lot of power. That's the bonus. That's the secret. This grip can be dangerous if you're not closing the club face. So you need to make sure you're able to close the club face. Easiest way to close it, along with generating more power, is just to use that trail arm for what it's there for, generating as much power as possible into your swing. So let's hit a couple of balls and see if we can hit some straight shots. We're going to do one swing without being aggressive with the trail arm, then we'll do a swing being aggressive with the trail arm, and we'll see why that's so important. That's probably about 20, 25 yards right at target. Now, we'll do it like Hogan did, with a nice aggressive trail arm. Let's see what happens. All right, so along with these Ben Hogan videos I'm putting out, I also share a lot of drills that are helping me work on my game. If you want to get access to those drills, just go to thescratchplan.com, sign up for the email list, and you'll get a free weekly email with drills that have really made a difference in my game. This covers everything from driving, irons, wedges, chipping, putting. It's all there. They're all super effective drills that are really helping me get things dialed. If you want to check them out, thescratchplan.com. Until then, hit them straight.